I'll just mute if there's any noise back. All right, we are live. 7th episode. It's the Combat Sports Guy. It's Jeremy Velasquez. He's trying to stay awake.
What? Trying to stay awake is nuts.
All right, let's get into our first topic. Jeremy, what we got on? Let's see what we got here. First topic of today, of the 7th episode of the championship rounds. We're starting off with a banger. We're starting off with Virgil Ortiz versus Sergey Bohachuk, set for August 10th in the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Jeremy, if you could please.
Is this 7 episodes already?
Yes, we are in our 7th episode, dog. We are in our 7th episode. And yeah, bro. So
let's 7 strong, man. Lucky number 7. Love it.
Let's go. All right,
give me. First off, what do you think of the? What do you think of the fight itself? Give me a second. Let me find it. Just having.
I mean, all right. Fight itself. Oh shit, my light went out. All right, fight itself. I'm back. It's gonna be This is gonna be a war, bro. This is gonna be a classic war. Virgil Ortiz, Bohachuk. We watched Bohachuk live under the Mendoza versus Sue undercard. Bohachuk is a tough cookie, bro. But low key, Bohachuk is Bohachuk is a volume puncher against a power puncher like Virgil Ortiz. I think that Virgil Ortiz, he has the advantage power wise. And honestly, he throws just as many punches. So I think that the dude with the more power, same level of volume, it's going to be a crazy war. But I think Virgil Ortiz is most likely going to get a knockout later rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my best prediction of the fight. But I think it's going to be I think it's fight of the year, probably.
Fight of the year, honestly. I have to agree with that. This is definitely, this is one of those fights where you just you hear the two competitors and it's going to be a good one no matter what. Unfortunately, I'm having trouble pulling up a graphic here.
Let me see if I can try to pull it up.
Please see if you can. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm having issues here. It doesn't make any sense, but.
Let me see if this works for me. Yeah, for some reason it's kind of messed up. Hold up. But what do you think about the fight, Jeremy? While I'm trying to pull this up, bro.
Yeah, no, I think this is gonna be a good one. It's also okay. There we go. I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, let's see. Sorry about that, everyone.
I can only pull up videos for some reason.
That's all good. Thank you guys for sticking around and being patient with us here. What's it called? Yeah, no, I think this is a real good one. I think this is real exciting. I think it's really dope that they're doing it in Las Vegas. I think that's awesome to see Virgil Ortiz headline a place like the Michelob Ultra Arena in Mandalay Bay. It's also for an interim WBC title. Super dope, super welterweight. So 154, Virgil's first, or actually not his first fight at 154, but his next fight at 154. But what I'm mostly excited to see is what comes after this fight for either guy, whoever the winner is. I got Virgil Ortiz winning, by the way. I'm just gonna say that I got Virgil Ortiz by KO. I'm not sure what round. I'll say middle rounds, to be honest. I think he gets him in the middle rounds. But again, this is going to be a firefight, most definitely. But I'm more excited to see what happens after this fight, obviously, because 154, a lot of the guys from 147 are going to be looking to move up to 154. So, somebody like Jaron Boots Ennis is has his next fight at 147, but who knows? He might decide to chase a 154 fight right after this fight that he has coming up tomorrow. And then, Ortiz and Bohachuk are already at 154. So who knows? Maybe this next guy might fight the winner of Madrimov and Crawford. So that's honestly what I'm more looking forward to this fight. Mm-hmm. and either whatever way you want to put it, either guy is going to have a war with the winner of either one. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's basically why I'm like really looking forward to. I think the 154-pound division is about to get a whole lot more exciting, truthfully. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, no, I'm not expecting anything short of a war for this one.
Yeah, no, same here. I love that they're having it at the Mandalay Bay. There's been so many great historic fights there.
Right.
Naoya fought like a lot of different guys there.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of other fights that have happened there.
Yeah, it's storied for sure. It's got history.
I'm excited for them to have it there again. I don't think have the tickets. Are they on sale yet? Or
I think they actually have gone on sale. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was actually looking at them. So they're not selling the upper level actually. So it's just gonna be like ringside. It's gonna be ringside, and it's gonna be that first bowl, that first little bowl right there.
Okay.
But other than that, no. Like that's basically it.
And this is the first time Golden Boy and 360 Promotions have been working together since Triple G and Canelo. So that's another big thing.
Yeah, that's exciting too. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they continue.
Much smaller fight, but probably going to be almost equally as much of a chess match for the rounds that it does last for.
Yeah.
Definitely a really good fight. Let's move into our next topic of today. We're talking about Jaron Boots Ennis versus David Avanesian. Let's pull up that graphic real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, already getting into this, I don't want to write off David, but I think this is another day in the office for Ennis. I wanted to see Ennis versus honestly, I wanted to see him fight Crowley, which is originally who he was supposed to fight.
Right.
I would have loved to have seen that fight more so than this one, just because I think Crowley, me and Jeremy saw Crowley fight live on the undercard for Benavidez versus Plant. I would say that Crowley is a really good pressure fighter, and I just would like to see Ennis get tested by a pressure fighter. But funny enough, coming off of this past week's main event with Shakur and another Armenian fighter, we have another Armenian fighter here in David. And Armenian fighters are definitely tough fighters. They give people problems, decent records across the board. But in all honesty, I mean, Terrence Crawford made light work of this guy when he fought him under, I think it was the Black Prime promotion. And I don't see this fight going any other way. I think Boots is going to put on another masterclass like he has with all the other C to B plus talent that he's fought to this point.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to argue against James in this one. I think yeah, like you said, this is going to be another day in the office for Boots. I mean, it is a homecoming fight, so normally, I mean, I don't think they're going to spoil. I don't think Avanesian's going to spoil his homecoming. He's not, again, he's not a bad fighter by any means. He's a great boxer. However, I just feel that, I mean, this is Boots' home in Philadelphia. The crowd's going to be with him. I highly doubt the crowd's going to be against him. But I think, honestly, this is more a fight to get excited for what's next for him, whether that be a move up to 154 or maybe that Crowley match or maybe another matchup in 147. So it's very exciting to see, but, hopefully one day, even if it's at 154, we get to see some kind of Terrence Crawford and Jaron Ennis fight. Everybody's been wanting that one. I mean, Boots has he has 28 KOs or something like that.
Yeah.
So the guy's a monster, and Terrence Crawford's also a monster. So I mean, when you put a monster versus a monster, I mean, it's bound to be an absolute war, a slugfest, or a barn burner, whatever you want to call it. It's bound to be a great fight. So hopefully that's what happens. I mean, I just want to speculate. I kind of want to speculate on that, and hopefully that's what I'm hoping this is leading to. Maybe like a 154 move for Boots. He just vacates that IBF title and just
everybody's gonna be moving up to 154. It sounds like even Haney and Ryan.
150, yeah, it's 154 is the new goddamn what's it called?
135.
Yeah, exactly. 135, because all those 135 guys ended up moving to 140, and look at them. Look at the 140-pound division now.
Honestly, I think like talking a little bit about that. I think that it kind of goes to show that a lot of the younger talent, I think they wanted to just kind of weight bully 135 for a bit, but
Maybe.
but honestly, like nobody really left with many accolades besides Tio and Haney. So even with that,
Yeah.
it really wasn't worth it. I think a lot of these guys probably should have started at a closer. They should have started a lot earlier at 140 and then moved their way up. But
most
I
definitely.
mean, we find ourselves here today, so it's not too big of a deal. I think 154 is gonna definitely pick up. It's already insane. I mean, Sue and Fundora had a pretty interesting wild fight that we got to see live. There's just been a lot of fights that are cooking up that are going to be really good. So I think 154 is definitely picking up, which is awesome to see. I think as some guys are probably going to make their way to 160 and eventually probably bring back that middleweight division, which boxing desperately needs because the middleweight division is pretty much
open. Yeah, it's lacking. It's been lacking lately, basically, and what's it called? The heavier Charlo held that one up for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hopefully, the 160 division gets a revival of some sort. I know Janet Beck was supposed to fight tomorrow on that top rank card, but he had to get hospitalized due to dehydration. Yeah, so that's why Raymond Murataya is now the main event of that. The main event now. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see a revival of 160, man, because that division has been kind of quiet since Triple G left.
Yeah, no, it's
so yeah. Hopefully we see some movement there soon. I would definitely like to see that.
I'm pretty sure David Murataya is 135 pounds, right?
Raymond Murataya.
That's what he's classified as under here.
So, yeah.
Dude, talking about just like great fights and fighters in general, I think talking about 135 pounds, I think Raymond Murataya is I think he's the future of lightweight and 140 pounds, probably 135 and 140. Okay. That's my. I know you're not really all sold on him, but
I'm not. Well, I wouldn't say I'm not sold on him. I definitely think he'd be a great lightweight. I just think there's a better lightweight out there, which I'm going to talk about later.
Go ahead, just talk about it now.
Oh, I'm going to say straight up, Abdullah Mason's going to be the future of the lightweight division. Straight up, I think he whoops Murataya. Not right now, but give him 3 years, and I think he whoops Murataya in 10.
Ah, man, Jeremy, I think
he beats on him in 10.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Abdullah Mason is argued. I think he is the best lightweight prospect in boxing.
I give it to Mason. Mason has a hell of a punch, and he's a really good and he's a decent boxer. I would say that a fight between him and Raymond Murataya would probably bring us back to a fight like Alexis Arguello versus Aaron Pryor.
Okay.
That if we take into consideration that Abdullah Mason probably will not have the magic drink during that fight like Pryor had.
Yeah.
I would most likely, in my opinion, I think that the stronger, more technical boxer in Raymond Murataya would get the win. But only time will tell. Me and Jeremy we're just speculating.
I mean, hey, they're both top rank guys, so hopefully Murataya decides to stay with top rank, man, and maybe we could see some like a great main event one day. I would love to see that one.
Talking about all these young guns, bro. Let's get into another young gun right now. It's been a little bit of controversy. Let's get into Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Twitterson Stevenson, bro. Let's get into. He is no longer Shakur Sugar Stevenson. He is now Shakur Twitterson Stevenson. Wow. He's fully playing into that villain role, which I do definitely like. Last show, we talked about how he needs to play into that Floyd Mayweather-esque type heel, if you will, which they call it in the World Wrestling business.
Yeah.
Tie into the fact that he doesn't have a very amusing style. to say for for the average fan, but he gets the wins, and he could honestly beat probably most of the top names in boxing.
Yeah. What's
So
it called? He definitely. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not the biggest. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest here. I'm not exactly the biggest Shakur Stevenson fan. However, do I believe that this man can become um, a star? I mean, I really do think so. The ability is definitely there. Um, but I mean, again, people. If you're a pure boxing fan, then you definitely enjoy watching Shakur Stevenson. However, I think that if you're somebody who thinks Gervonta Davis is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, you definitely don't like watching this man. So I mean, yes, his style is not exactly the most entertaining. However, could he, one day? I think he. I know I've said past. I feel like I know I've said past streams that he is not exactly the most sellable fighter. However, I think I have to retract that statement. I think he does have the makings to become a draw. However, he will only become a draw if he has an opponent that people feel is worthy, uh, of pushing him to that next level. I think he needs that big name. I think it's time. I think there's no more fighting guys like Hartunian, or no more fighting guy. I mean, honestly, Valdez was a good. I thought that was a great opponent. Um, yeah, I think it's time for him to fight or to unify. That's what needs to happen. I think it's time for him to
yeah,
unify. I don't think he can get away with fighting contenders no more. I think it's time for him to unify or try to unify.
yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, last show I was telling you that the Floyd Mayweather effect of Floyd fought De La Hoya, he fought Cotto, he fought a lot of guys that had established names, established brands. If Shakur goes the same route, he will definitely get way more viewers in general. But honestly, I would say that unless if he does not fight somebody with a real big name, he's going to continue to just not really draw. A lot of his pay-per-views will probably average
Yeah,
between 25,000 to 50,000 buys. But unless he fights somebody like big, even if he fights William Cepeda, that's going to be a great fight, and it's going to make boxing fans respect him. But
yeah,
unfortunately,
most
I've seen
definitely, yeah.
I don't think the casual fan's going to respect Shakur Stevenson until he fights Tank Davis. If he doesn't fight Tank Davis, nobody's.
Yeah,
He's never
it's
going to
true.
fight Haney. Haney is not in a position where he really wants to fight a Shakur right now. He looked bad in his last performance against Ryan. He's not going to want to take a really. It's two separate fights that he's going to really get screwed up on. He fought Ryan. It was more of just an imbalance in power. He fights Shakur. It's really an imbalance in ring IQ, in my opinion. I think Shakur has way better ring IQ. So I think he doesn't want to take that risk. Tiafimo
Better.
doesn't
Wait,
makes that
hold on. Better ring IQ than who?
Haney.
Oh, than Haney. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he has better ring IQ than Haney. I
Yeah,
think I think him and Gervonta are pretty close. Him and Gervonta is the fight to make, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, I'm not gonna lie, Shakur's in a very interesting position. He goes with Eddie Hearn. You know how I feel about the Matchroom curse. He might end up getting a real close fight with a contender nobody wanted him to see fight
yeah,
because I don't know. It seems like even though he has his problems with Top Rank, they did give him somewhat, I would say, easier opponents. But he definitely did cook with Valdez, but he definitely needs a top fighter to fight. He needs a Tank. He needs a Haney. He needs a Tiafimo. He needs somebody that can give him those fans because he's a winner. I mean, he has the style to beat all these
yeah,
guys,
absolutely.
but he definitely needs a little bit of a push in the sense that he
Yeah,
needs
yeah.
some.
Honestly, James, I think you said it best, man. Because honestly, I was just mouthing off. I was really just yapping. Yeah, I feel
Nah,
like I was saying a whole bunch of nothing. But
Jerry, don't be lazy to be on the show now, bro.
no, I mean honestly, you took the words right out of my mouth, man. Yeah, Shakur to get to that superstar level that everybody or a lot of people want him to see at, or everybody sees him at. I think it's gonna take that big name Loma Tank Zepeda, hell even what's his name Baranchik. It's gonna take a champion, or I mean he could just shoot straight to 140 and fight a top guy there. Because I'm sure, I mean, he won't need like no tune up or nothing. They're probably just gonna give him a title shot straight away to whoever. So yeah. So I mean, again, I would like to see Shakur versus any top guy. I think maybe then that brings out his entertaining, like him as an entertaining fighter side, and he'll probably shut a lot of people up. Truthfully, he really does have the ability to beat the top guys as well.
Shakur has a style in which he walks on eggshells constantly, and he has the ring IQ to do so because he has the vision for it. He knows how to defend himself against punches, but he can't walk on eggshells when it comes to negotiations with top talent. He needs to know exactly what he wants, and sometimes accept maybe being the B side. Sometimes that Tank's gonna bring in more people.
I mean that's hard, man. Their egos though. The egos.
I think that if Shakur can't check his ego and understand that he needs to like take the beat, Mayweather checked his ego when he went to go fight Naoya, and then he took all of Naoya's fans and he went on and never had to be the B side. If Shakur just bites the bullet one time, does it with a Tank, does it with a Teofimo, does it with somebody like that, I mean he can become a larger star. It's tough to say, bro. I mean, Mayweather has his own style. Mayweather really learned how to kind of gather more attention just through controversy, kind of like Ryan does, but on a way lesser level. I mean, Ryan's, on something else now, but I don't know. It's the only time will tell. I don't think Shakur is going to outsell Tank. I think Tank is the top dog besides Canelo. He is not the face of boxing. He is not pound for pound. Inoue, Crawford are pound for pound. Canelo is the face of boxing, but Tank is very close. Once he beats Loma, everybody's going to think he's probably pound for pound, but I think he's very close, though. He's definitely in the top 10, I would say.
Okay.
But, I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, because I know you said Tank was, I don't know if you meant to say he was pound for pound number one, but.
No, I'm saying people who think Gervonta Davis is the number one pound for pound in the world don't like watching Shakur Stevenson, and they're not sold on him at the moment because obviously, and especially if they saw that Edwin De Los Santos fight. They're by no means are they like, oh yeah, no, I mean this Tank beats this guy in 5 rounds. Nah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but that's what I'm saying. Like anybody who thinks that Gervonta Davis is the best pound for pound, and obviously that's basically saying that's my way of saying to the casual fan, Shakur Stevenson is a god awful fighter. All
right. I mean.
I don't know. I feel like I have some casual opinions sometimes myself, though. But
look, Shakur's fought Valdez. He fought Kansei Sao. Those are the only 2 legitimate fights he's really had up to this point. He's had a few other contender fights. I mean, he fought some good contenders recently, but he definitely needs to make that next step, bro. I mean, Canelo wiped out 168. Crawford fought Spence. Tank fought Ryan. Tank fought, Martin. There comes a time where we definitely need to make somewhat of a risk, and I know that Stevenson's matured enough for that. So I'm looking forward to who he's going to fight next. Topic number 4 today, we got Inoue. Speaking of pound for pound, one of the pound for pound kings right now is the little man coming out of Japan. The little man with the big man punch, Naoya Inoue, is set to defend his 122-pound crown. But his opponent will be TJ Doheny. And is there anything to be worried about with that? What's the word on that, Jeremy? Do you think that Doheny stands any chance against this monster, bro?
I mean, looks could be deceiving. However, in this case, I don't think they are.
Yeah.
He does look like an older gentleman. I'm not gonna lie to you. Inoue is just coming in with an unreal momentum at the moment. So I'm not exactly expecting maybe like a back and forth. I think Luis Neri was really was probably. I mean, props to Inoue though. He's staying active. I mean, you really can't hate on that. he's staying active, and I know obviously a lot of people make the argument that Inoue should fight in the U.S. already, but the thing is, he already has fought Jason Maloney in the or was it Andrew? It was either Andrew or Jason Maloney, one of the Maloney brothers. Fought one of the Maloney brothers in Las Vegas back during the pandemic. Um, and he's had a couple of fights in the States already. So I understand a lot of people are saying that he needs to come here to the States already and find out or whatever it may be, whatever people want to say. Yeah. But he's doing his thing out in Japan. I kind of learned about this matchup and was like, okay, it's just another Inoue knockout waiting to happen right here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm not too excited about this one. I'm hoping he keeps on moving up in weight. I don't know. Who knows what his max is, but
yeah.
Yeah, but this is just probably just going to be another showcase of his skills and just another showcase of why he's called the monster, why he's basically, in my opinion, the number one pound for pound fighter on the planet.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford is my number 2. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, just so that some of the viewers know, this isn't the most exciting of topics. If you are not a casual, you probably definitely know what's going on with Inoue. Just so that y'all know, if y'all have any questions that pertain to combat sports, me and Jeremy are always free to answer your questions. Anything related to UFC and boxing, you guys can shoot it in the comment section. But aside of that, in my opinion, I think that Inoue makes pretty quick work of TJ. I know that this is a mandatory. Sometimes mandatories, they're not really the best competition for some reason. We saw that with Canelo when he defended his title against the Turkish boxer and what's his name? Man, that's a while back. 2020, he fought him in Miami.
Right.
Anyways, but
Yildirim.
Yes, Yildirim. Thank you so much, bro. Yildirim got knocked out.
He got brutally. Yeah, that was
beaten. I would say that this is going to be close to the same thing. This is a tough Irish fighter. Maybe he's going to last a few rounds. He's going to try to pressure Inoue. If he brings the fight to Inoue, maybe we can have an interesting fight. But I think that Inoue is probably going to take care of business like he always does, probably in an emphatic fashion. Not much else to say on that. Anything else from you, Jeremy, on that one, or?
No, honestly, just another. I think we're just gonna get another Inoue masterclass. I know he got dropped his last fight by Luis Neri, but even then, again, he ended up KOing Neri. So I'm not expecting a different result in this one. But hopefully he moves up. I believe next division is what, 126 featherweight. 126 is popping right now. It's on the come up.
Yeah. If Inoue
right now, it's super. Yeah.
I think Inoue could definitely do some major damage at 126.
I think so too. Yeah,
I think he's cementing himself as pound for pound number 1.
Yeah. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get a move up on this next one because he could definitely shake some. He could shake some shit up at what's it called, at 126. So I'm super excited about that.
Let's get into let's get into our next topic. Eddie Hearn promises to turn Shakur Stevenson into a star. So we're back on the topic of Shakur Stevenson. However, this time we have a promoter in Eddie Hearn. He is a promoter for Matchroom Boxing, probably, I would say, the most successful boxing promotion at this point in time besides Top Rank. He's saying that he wants to turn Shakur into a star. This is an interesting one. Eddie Hearn says he wants to make everybody a star. He probably wants to own all of them. I don't blame him. But I don't know. This is a tough one. I think, honestly, it seems like he's probably eyeing a good Shakur versus Boots fight at some point, trying to make something like that happen. They can make a lot of fights happen under Matchroom. Matchroom works very closely with the Saudis in Riyadh season. The Saudis have a lot of money to throw at these boxers, so they could definitely make some super fights happen. I'm not opposed to this. I think that if he goes under Matchroom, it is a great stable to be under. I know that he's talking about fighting Cepeda. Golden Boy is, using that for leverage to try to sign him. I don't know. That's probably not gonna go anywhere. If he signs to Matchroom, I'm sure they'll still make that Cepeda fight. It's really up to the fighters at that point. But not much else to say. I think, when it comes to Eddie Hearn, Jeremy, sometimes we talk about the Matchroom curse.
Yeah.
A lot of fighters go to Matchroom and they don't fare so well. I mean, that happened in Subriel Matias. You know, I mean,
unfortunately.
Eddie Hearn dreams, and then sometimes those dreams don't become a reality.
Right. Yeah.
It happens to all the best promoters. So, I mean, honestly, if Shakur's going to become a star, it's up to Shakur. It's not up to Eddie Hearn.
Right.
He might get a few more fans from Europe, but it's all going to be up to how Shakur wants to manage his career from this point on.
Right. Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. But honestly, I think Shakur, you know, if he's really that set on fighting Zepeda, I think he could basically do what Devin Haney did. And basically, well, actually, no, Devin Haney fought Ryan while he was still under Matchroom, right?
Devin Haney.
But Golden Boy was like the lead promoter of that fight.
Yeah. He fought him when he was still under Matchroom. There, honestly, I don't think there's any problem making fights between promotions at this point. It seems like everybody's working together.
Yeah, honestly, because PBC, I mean, well,
PBC is gonna literally work with Top Rank and Matchroom this time now, with Riyadh season.
Right. Right, with the Crawford event. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So honestly, let's hope we see more of that, man. Because honestly, that's the only thing that's holding up the sport right now is just these. It's more about the beef between promoters rather than the beef between the fighters themselves. You know. So, honestly, yeah. No. Do I think Eddie Hearn can turn Shakur Stevenson into a star? Absolutely. I think he could definitely sell him right. Hopefully, you know, he does a better job with Shakur than he did with Haney. Not to say Haney's not a star, nothing like that. But, I mean, Haney, I mean, we've seen the numbers. The numbers have been proven. They've been tried and true. And unfortunately, they're just not that good. But honestly, I think he could do it with Shakur. I think he can get Shakur some good, you know, the best fights. Not you know, I think he can get him the best fights.
Yeah.
You know, and I trust his you know, his mind, his vision. And let's see what he can do. But I really do think Shakur is going to end up going to Matchroom. I mean, Shakur declined a $15 million 5-fight deal with Top Rank. So, I mean, he's on the market. So we'll see who takes him. I think Matchroom's the front runner for that.
Yeah, I think Matchroom definitely is. I think when it comes to when it comes to popularity and fighters, I think it's up to the fighters, man. It's like you'll have I think you'll have your magical fighters in like De La Hoya, Mike Tyson, you know, Chavez, Roy Jones. These guys sell themselves. Ryan Garcia, right. They sell themselves because of their excitement and their talent. When it comes to fighters like Shakur Stevenson and Mayweather, it's really their jobs to take their careers they got to be the self-promoter. Like that's what Devin Haney tried to do in making his own promotion. He tried to create a promotion and really give himself that fluidity to kind of go wherever he wants and become that fighter that he wants to be, that everybody knows. He tried it. It didn't really work out. He didn't really take the right steps in that. Honestly, he fought really good opposition, but I mean, dude, he fought against Ryan Garcia. He lost against Ryan Garcia. He put all his cards on the table and he ended up losing he lost to the house. So, I don't know, man. I think it just depends. Honestly, it depends on the fighter. It depends on whether the fighter is responsible and ready enough to say, I'm going to take charge of my own career and do this. I don't know. I don't think Eddie Hearn had some magic in Anthony Joshua because Anthony Joshua was like the prodigy of England and the next, big heavyweight star from England. He was like England's next, Muhammad Ali type fighter. And all Eddie Hearn had to do is just be Eddie Hearn and just be a good, solid promoter that says the right things at the right time. I don't think Eddie Hearn, that's my opinion. I don't think Eddie Hearn could do any crazy magic, to get Shakur out there even more. It's all going to lie in how Shakur sells himself. I don't know. Maybe Shakur has to steep as low as doing some Ryan stuff and making his own channel and hanging out with all these streamers and stuff. I don't know. He's got to do something for sure to get the younger audiences involved, but it's going to take a lot of work. But I mean, again, that's my 2 cents on it. I don't know if Eddie Hearn could get that done, to be honest. He's trying with everybody. He tried with Subriel Matias. He had Subriel Matias fight in Subriel Matias' home in Puerto Rico. Subriel lost. These are things that he can't control. Like he made a great event in the hometown of the fighter. The fighter loses. That could happen with Shakur. He can make a fight in New York.
A homecoming, huh?
If
Yeah, I guess
Shakur
anything really is possible. Yeah.
if Shakur has another performance like he did against, De Los Santos, it's gonna be a bad, it's not gonna be a good look on him.
For sure.
And I will say, bro, like it was a little shady of ESPN to kind of, they showed the fans walking out on Shakur.
That was.
I mean, it was funny. I'm not gonna count. It was pretty funny. But I was like, yeah, that's
that is a little crazy. I mean, honestly, again, that just goes to show how Top Break feels about Shakur leaving. I think that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think he soured the business a little bit. I mean, but to be fair, the people were leaving because of Shakur. Like that's unfortunate, but it's the truth. A lot of people were leaving the arena.
It was a great undercard, though. Truthfully, it was a great undercard.
It was definitely a decent undercard. I will say that it was definitely a decent undercard.
Yeah, I mean, Keyshawn, Oshaki Foster, Abdullah Mason, a lot of great names, up and comers for sure. But yeah,
let's. I think next topic is. Let's get into the next topic, and again, we're actually been talking about Subriel for a bit. Let's get into Subriel Matias and Coach Jay Nahar parting ways after loss to Liam Paro. So, Mr. Nahar is the same coach of Zepeda.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really like this change, to be honest with you. I really don't like it at all. I think that this has been a really great relationship. I think that the Mexican style mixed with Subriel Matias is just his gifts as a boxer has really elevated him. And to be quite honest, if he chooses if he goes to like Bomac or somebody like that, or just different trainers, or even Eddie Reynoso, they're going to slow him down. They're going to try to work on defense. He's going to become a more back foot fighter. He's not. This was a good coach. In my opinion, I think this is a great coach.
Right.
William Pereira and this coach are going to do some great things. And Subriel Matias, had he stayed with this coach, would have continued to do great things. Honestly, the coach wasn't the problem. It was really just him. He got in his own mind, and another coach is going to get in his mind and tell him, hey, what you're doing is definitely okay. Just, lay off a little bit on these rounds. With this coach, there is no laying off. There is no, putting down your guard. There is no let's not work any combinations in. Like, I like coaches that really emphasize, dude, you're down on the cards. You need to work the combinations. You need to keep your hands up. I watched Subriel Matias before he was with Coach Nahar. I saw some of his highlights and some of his fights on PBC. This coach elevated Matias to beating a lot of guys in emphatic fashion. He's still going to do that, but if he fights dudes that know how to move around the ring and know how to really get in his head, he's not beating those guys anymore. He does not have the coaching to do that, in my opinion, unless he goes to another great pressure coach. I don't know. Unless he changes his style, which is very hard to do. And honestly, he has the gifts of a pressure fighter. He has the gifts of a fighter that, as long as he keeps his guard up, as long as he's consistent with his body work, he has the cardio. I honestly think he just was in his own mind during that Liam Paro fight. It was a close fight. I was looking at the app that we use. The fight, most people saw it 114. I think that he just got in his own head. I think he's in his head right now. I think that I don't know why he would do something like this. I don't know. I really like Subriel Matias, and I think that even after that loss, he is still really good. And this was a good coaching pair and fighter pair. I don't know. It's kind of tough to see this.
Yeah. You honestly took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the exact same thing. Where it's like I don't think this is a good move. I really don't. Definitely watching that fight again. Like you said, he was in his own head, and it's unfortunate that he's gonna leave such a great coach, or at least a coach that just suits him so well.
Yeah.
As to again, I think his ability will still be there, but again, hopefully his next coach, whoever he chooses, hopefully they build on what he has already done and what he already knows, rather than try to change him completely. I feel like we've seen that a lot in the past.
Yeah.
But I just hope this isn't a Ryan Garcia leaving, like a Ryan Garcia leaving Reynoso for Joe Goosen's situation here.
I think it very much could be something like that because
that's exactly what I think is going to happen. Exactly,
it happens to a lot of good fighters. Like
right,
Ray Vargas was being coached by Bettingstein, who Nacho Bettingstein, who is like one of the greatest Mexican coaches of all time. And
right.
Bettingstein would always tell him, he would remind him, like, dude, keep your guard up. You're down on the cards. You need to do this. You need to do that. Great fighters need that because they start getting in their own head and they start going like into like this zone of like, how do I explain it? They get into their own head and their talent takes over. So with Ryan, he has Goosen. Goosen said in an interview, coaching Ryan is great because it's like working with an artist. Like you got to respect the art, let him work. You can't really teach him anything. He kind of is his own thing. That is not true. It's the coach's job to teach him. It's the coach's job to keep him reliable and accountable. Once you start delving into that, you let your fighters like inhibitions get the best of them, which ultimately leads to a lot of losses. Ryan Garcia fights Tank. He was just gunning for the left hook the whole time. Eddie Reynoso would have told him, move your head.
There was never a clear game plan for that.
Throw body shots, like try to, like you gotta like they would take the fight seriously.
It definitely would have been a closer fight for sure.
Would have been a closer fight.
And then had Reynoso been in that corner.
And then we look at Ray Vargas. Ray Vargas lost to Foster by about 2 rounds because Ray Vargas, for some reason, thinks he knows the Philly shell, which his coach always told him to not do. His coach would always tell him, dude, stop using the Philly. Like, he would really tell him, stop doing this shit and start, like, putting your lead hand up and work. Work the way you know how to work. And he would not do that. He did that with Foster, and he lost every single round that he decided to do that with and, like, not work. So, coaches are really important. It's really vital important. Subriel Matias, before he had this coach, he would have his hands down. He'd be trying to like Roy Jones people, which he could. But when he tries to Roy Jones a Shakur Stevenson and Shakur exits out the right side because he doesn't have his arms ready to counter with a hook or
get out of here,
dude. Shakur is gonna box him out of the ring. People are gonna box him out of the ring. He doesn't have that one punch knockout power. He doesn't.
Right.
He has that volume. Nasty volume work and those nasty body punches that will end a fighter, but he does not have that one punch knockout power that's like, oh my gosh, no, he doesn't. So if he's fighting a guy that knows how to box, he's gonna have a lot of trouble. And I don't know, it's just sad to see him like just not be with that coach anymore. But I hope Subriel Matias continues to be an awesome fighter that he is, but I don't know, it sucks because I really thought they meshed really well. Like, it was really good to see them fight. I don't have much else to say on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't think it's a good move. But I wish Subriel the best, man. I mean, Matias is a really enjoyable guy. I mean, guy's got a killer style. I mean, he's fun to watch. And he can definitely become the next great person at 140. I mean, again, I don't think this one loss is going to define him. He's going to come back even stronger and scarier. I mean, I feel like we've seen time and time again guys suffer one loss and all of a sudden just become freaking Bane from Batman. It's and I think that's what's going to happen here. But with a new trainer, it might be it'll be a bit of a tougher road. It'll be a tougher road, but we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
Oh, talking about another fighter that switched coaches like crazy. In Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya is seeming more interested in a fight with Dennis Berinchik for William Cepeda rather than Shakur Stevenson. I mean, like when I read this topic that we have up here, I would say I think it's an easier fight to make because Golden Boy wants to sign Shakur, and that's kind of the deal. If Shakur fights William Cepeda, they're saying, hey, Shakur, you could come fight him, but guess what? We want you to be signed with Golden Boy for 2-3 fights, which is not a terrible deal, but it kind of limits Shakur's, flexibility.
It's his star power. His star power is going to get absolutely fucking burnt to death. I think I've said this time and time again, not on stream, but um, I've said, just me in conversations that the combat sports guy and I have had, um, Golden Boy is where stars go to die. Virgil Ortiz, no promotion whatsoever. The guy fought in Fresno. William Zepeda, a guy who's ultra talented and is fighting in small venues. Who else? I mean, honestly, the only one who I can really imagine that they handled right. The only star that I feel they've handled right is Ryan Garcia.
Munguia.
But that's one. Oh, Munguia, yeah, that's true. Munguia's actually done pretty well. All right, Munguia and Ryan Garcia, those are two. But I'm saying, come on, Golden Boy. Where I don't know. I feel like there's star. I feel like that's where stars go to die.
I mean, I think yeah. I hear you out. I think Golden Boy is probably as consistent as just the business of Golden Boy has been in general. Just the brand is as consistent. It's like it applies to everything in life. Like your brand is as consistent as your product, and Golden Boy's product has varied over the years. Golden Boy started off with a bang because Oscar practically promoted every opponent that he ever had fights. After a certain point, Mosley, he promoted Bernard, he promoted all these different guys. It was a different era. Boxing fans kind of were already in the masses because they just had all these boxers that were getting well promoted, and people were just more receptive then.
Right.
Now it's a different market. We're dealing with people that it's just so hard to get people's attention now. And honestly, America really kind of has shunned boxing away after, I would say, Mayweather Pacquiao was the last time we had a massive event that was stopped the whole world. It's been years. And Golden Boy, honestly, since Schaefer left, who recently, is now, trying to make something with Mayweather, has honestly felt the repercussions of that. And they still make big events, but their events are not as big as they used to be. And there are a lot of blunders that happen in each event. They're just not a perfect promotion.
They're definitely not. They're not as good as I would say the other out of all the four big promotions, or quote big promotions, I would say they're definitely fourth in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, I love their events though. I love watching Golden Boy events. So their fighters are pretty fun to watch. But I think once these guys reach a certain level, or let me say this, their ceiling is much lower than other guys in other promotions. That's how I feel about Golden Boy. I love Golden Boy events to death, but I feel like every one of their big talent has a low ceiling compared to what they could get at other promotions.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's definitely tough. I think that every promotion has its problems. Matchroom is very European heavy. They haven't really had too many big stars in different areas. I mean, they actually did really well with Bam Rodriguez though. They did really well with that. And
Bam Rodriguez, and now they got Boots Ennis.
They got Boots Ennis.
And I'm sure Boots is going to become I wouldn't say a household name, but he's definitely going to become a more known name.
I mean, Matchroom, honestly, they're like the top rank of Europe. They're already a pretty successful brand in Europe.
Yeah.
So they kind of come into the States with I think more money and more know-how because they just have done bigger events. I don't know what happened to Golden Boy. Honestly, I think Golden Boy has definitely missed a step. They're trying to kind of come back. They're trying to, use business leverage to kind of get these big stars, but it's still been really tough for them in the sense that I don't know if Shakur wants to go there, and I don't know how large of a deal they want to do with him. Maybe they just want to sign him just to fight William Zepeda. I don't know. But I don't know. Besides that, I don't really see much. I mean, when it comes to this topic, it just seems like it's just easier to make the fight with Dennis Berinchek than it is Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is going to go to Matchroom, and then when he's at Matchroom, he's going to be like, I want to tune up, or nah, you know what, let's not make this fight yet, or something like that. Eddie Hearn might want to just try to test out the waters with Shakur before they do an event like that. there might be more stuff in the way of getting a Shakur Stevenson fight done than a Dennis Berinchik fight. Dennis Berinchik he works with a small promotion. Golden Boy's just gonna pick him up and say, hey, let's do this Cepeda fight. Boom, it's done. Probably next day they'll have it signed. As soon as Shakur goes to Matchroom, they have a little bit of negotiation problems. Golden Boy's just gonna pick up Dennis Berinchik, and then William Cepeda is gonna become WBA.
I think it's WBO.
He's gonna become a WBO lightweight champion. I don't think Dennis Berinchik definitely.
Or is it IBF?
I think it's WBO. Dennis Berinchik is definitely a very good fighter, but I don't think he's a great fighter like William Cepeda is. And you definitely need to be a great fighter to beat William Cepeda. And that's actually an excellent fight. If William Cepeda later down the road wants to fight a Lomachenko, he fights that Ukrainian style. Yes. He already kind of knows what to expect. I think William Cepeda is definitely on the up and up. There's very few guys that could give him problems besides like heavy hitters like Tank and really just Tank, I would say, and maybe, Ryan or something like that. But he's definitely, I think he's eventually going to rule the lightweight division at some point, I would say.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. And to tell you the truth, I'd much rather see him against Shakur because I genuinely do think he beats Shakur. But if it's Berinchik, if it's Berinchik, and then he beats Berinchik, and then he tries to unify with Shakur, then I'll be like, oh, okay, if that was all a part of the plan, then that's a great plan. Yeah. But honestly, I just want to see that fight already. Would love to see it. I think it'd be fantastic. I'm super excited to see what's next for William Cepeda. Love watching him fight. It's hard. It's impossible for him to put on a boring fight. His fights are always very entertaining. I think he has a very entertaining style. His Mexican style is definitely almost makes it his own. You can tell he really brings his own kind of character to the style that we've seen so many greats of the past have. So, I'm super excited to see what's next for him. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that's all I really have to say, too, on this topic. I think I would rather watch the Shakur fight, but honestly, I think the Dennis Berinchik fight is going to be made because it honestly seems to me like there's two things happening. Golden Boy wants to sign Shakur to a contract, and Shakur doesn't want that. And I think that Shakur might be the more difficult of the two parties making this happen for some weird reason.
Maybe.
Shakur, I don't know. I think Shakur honestly is the favorite in a match like this just because he has that, judge-friendly style, and he just plays it safer, and Cepeda is there to be hit if he gets countered. But I don't know. Like, I think that, it's just an easier fight to make, but maybe it just all honestly depends on Shakur. I really doubt that William Cepeda doesn't want to fight Shakur. It seems like he is extremely game to fight really anybody. And right. For good reason, because these guys don't have a crazy, time frame. And honestly, when I watched William Cepeda, I think he really is trying to eye for greatness when he looks up to, Salvador Sanchez and people like that, and he fights the way he does. He is very committed to what he does. He reminds me a lot of Canelo and a lot of these Mexican fighters that are really committed to their work. So, I think he's a great fighter, and they should definitely make the Shakur fight happen. Aside of everything. But we'll see what happens. I doubt it happens next because it seems like they want to build Shakur up a little more. But let's move into some UFC news. Now we're straying away from boxing. We're gonna get into Michael Chandler and Dustin Poirier. They've been going back and forth.
Yeah, they've been going back and forth on Twitter, I believe. Okay. Dustin Poirier basically pulled a Kendrick Lamar and said, "Hey, you're not like us." He said, he was basically. I'm just gonna be paraphrasing here, basically, but what's his face? Dustin Poirier was like, Michael Chandler, you have only had how many fights in the UFC, and you've lost to most of them. You've only had one legit win, and that came against. Well, he's had two wins, Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson, but the rest of them he's lost, I believe. He lost to Oliveira. He lost to Poirier. He lost to Gaethje. So he said, you're not one of us. And Michael Chandler did not like that. So I mean, they've been going back and forth. But I'm just like curious, James, would you be interested in seeing a rematch between these two?
It's a fun fight no matter what. These are like really fun fighters to watch. I think that it's the same way I felt about Pereira versus Jiri. This might be even worse. Chandler hasn't really earned a shot at fighting Poirier again.
Yeah.
Poirier's proved himself. He's been close to winning the championship so many times. I honestly, when he fought, Oliveira, I thought that was the closest he would ever get to getting a championship. When he lost that fight, I was kind of devastated. I was like, wow, Poirier's never going to win the championship, which is, yeah. Like, as soon as I knew, like, as soon as Islam won the title, I was like, that's it. No one's winning this title from that guy.
Yeah.
It was, it's just screwed. Like, he's not. It was really sad, honestly, to see him lose against Oliveira because he could have won that fight. Oliveira is a beatable fighter, but he just couldn't get it done. A fight like this doesn't make any sense. Michael Chandler hasn't earned really the right to fight Poirier. He's a good, decent fighter. Like, Poirier can't say he's not a decent fighter. He is, and he has the tools to really even be a great fighter, but he doesn't utilize them. He likes to, stand and bang. Maybe for good reason. Maybe he does get gassed when he wrestles, which probably
it's entertaining though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a great fighter, and he honestly he has a talent to be a top 3, top 5 fighter and fight Poirier a good amount of times. I think that Poirier just has his number probably. If they fight, I mean, there's always going to be a possibility that Michael Chandler can knock him out or something. But
yeah,
I'm not interested in this fight. Honestly, Michael Chandler, he should probably wait out Conor. He's going to get a nice payday. Conor, the closest Conor gets to coming back to the UFC is fighting Chandler. There is no other matchup that makes sense for him to win besides Chandler or Tony Ferguson or a Nate Diaz. Anybody else he's going to probably lose to. Poirier versus Chandler, not a fight that I'm really like that hyped about. I would much rather see Poirier fight for the BMF belt and retire as a BMF champion, or try to somehow like win the BMF and then say, hey, you know what? Let's go again. Let's run it again. I want Islam again or something. Earn that, earn it. I want to see him honestly become the BMF, which I think he definitely can because he beat a Holloway. That's the fight I would want to see. A Holloway.
Hey, you're cooking with that one, man. That didn't cross my mind, but yeah, no, you're right. I like that.
I would love to see that fight way more than this fight. I don't think that this is called for, but I mean, hey, it's an entertaining fight, but Poirier really shouldn't waste his time. He's very close to retirement. Realistically, for my opinion, he should fight BMF, somehow make another title fight because the fans really just want to see him win a title. And he could definitely, I think he did decently with Islam the first time. If he fights him again, maybe he doesn't win, but at least he wins the BMF. I definitely want to see him win the BMF title. But this fight, I don't think there's any reason to do this. But I mean, Jeremy, you can maybe you think differently about this fight. I mean, it is entertaining. What do you think about it?
Honestly, that's all I think about this fight. It's nothing but entertaining. I would like to see it again just for the just for shits and giggles, really though. I can't imagine like I don't this really shouldn't be for stakes or nothing like that. This shouldn't be like for a contender spot, or it shouldn't be for like who's next in line for the BMF. No, this should just be but again, at the end of the day, this is a fight that it doesn't need to be made. I can live without. We had it already, and it was fun when it happened. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it was the people's main event. It's bound to be another people's main event. It's definitely not enough to main event a pay-per-view or a fight, but it's also too much to main event a fight night, I think. But yeah, I mean, if it happens, if they run it back, I would like great, but if it doesn't, oh well, I'm not really holding my breath to watch these guys fight again. I'm not really, like, oh, it needs to happen again. No, but I do like what you're saying about Dustin Poirier going after a BMF title. I would love that actually. I think that'd be great. And honestly, he sent out that tweet where he was like one last dance, so maybe I would love to see him against the 155 Holloway. That's a barn burner that's a barn burner right there for sure.
Speaking of Last Dance, and Undertaker did his documentary. He named it Last Dance. I would say my dream for Dustin Poirier would be for him to make one last run for a BMF title, and just make a documentary out of that. And it
Yeah,
would really,
that'd be cool, like a little YouTube series or something like that.
yeah.
I would like
I would
that.
like to
That'd
see
be
I
cool.
would like to see Dustin definitely go for the BMF. I think he
Yeah.
definitely won that. Championship is so hard. His window left way long ago. When he fought Oliveira, he was supposed to win that. He was really
Yeah,
supposed to win
unfortunately, he's been involved in a lot of crazy fights since then. So yeah, for sure. It's a tough one for sure. But he's definitely a fan favorite. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's get into Alex Pereira. He has his own Alex Pereira in kickboxing.
Yeah.
Artem Vakitov. I don't know if I said that right.
Maybe.
Thoughts on that?
I just think it's funny. I just think it's hilarious. They had a second fight, and that was a split decision, and Alex Pereira lost that one.
Okay.
I want to say I don't know if I remember correctly. I don't know if he's 2-0 on him or whatever it is. But recently, this Artem gentleman sent out a tweet. He was like, "Oh, let's meet in the UFC." I'm just like curious, like, could we see an Alex Pereira 2.0 in the making? Like, what if this guy legit gets like a crazy knockout and then just gets like a title shot right after, kind of like the same way Alex Pereira did? Except Alex Pereira, I mean, he had those two contender fights, and then he had Strickland, and then he had the title shot, I believe. But yeah, well, I'm just like, I'm kind of interested. I kind of want them to play around with that, see like this guy's legit, if he has any kind of ground game of some sorts. Should it go to that? Although, if these guys were to rematch in the UFC, I'm anticipating a pure striking match. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of funny how Alex Pereira has his own Alex Pereira. What do you think on that one?
This guy definitely will have to earn the shot like Alex did.
For sure.
I mean, Alex, they made it a little easy for Alex to get to Izzy.
It was a speed run. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit of a speed run, but he definitely he definitely embarrassed Strickland though. Yeah,
he did, and honestly, I think that in itself, that has aged well. Like, he literally beat Strickland, who then became a champion, who beat Israel. So he had a good win, decent win that really made him a top contender. He honestly would have beaten more guys. I think that he was just made to fight Izzy. It was just meant to be. It was just in the means of history that these warriors have to fight with each other. With that being said, speaking about that, I would much rather see Pereira fight Israel again. Like this, like
at light heavyweight, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I would want to see Izzy fight Pereira, light heavyweight. I don't think middleweight anymore. It seems like Alex Pereira can't move down anymore.
Yeah, no. It's just light heavyweight and heavyweight for him from now on. He's also on the older side too. We got to remember that. So, Alex, no more cutting weight that much for him.
Alex has what Israel wants, and I think he has the full leverage now. I think that he's proven that, when Izzy said that, one day Alex Pereira is going to be in the bar and say, "Oh, I beat that guy one time."
Yeah,
he became that guy.
He did.
But Izzy, he's a great fighter too. He was a dominant, great talent for such a long time.
Agreed.
It's still up in the air. I think that Izzy should fight Pereira one more time, light heavyweight, set the record straight. These guys are literally 2-2, or I think they're 2-2 exactly.
Something like that, yeah.
I would want to see a fight like that. I would love to see Pereira fight Izzy, and then just set the record straight. But honestly, Artem could definitely do some damage. I just always remember in my head still, Pereira looks so unstoppable right now, but Izzy put him out cold. Somebody could touch that chin. Is it Artem? I don't know if it's Artem.
Okay.
I don't know. I have to see Artem fight in MMA.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, people don't realize how different kickboxing is from MMA.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, in general, bro, maybe this is scary for MMA in general, bro. Maybe the kickboxer style is coming back, and it's showing everybody like, hey, the kickboxer is the quintessential style of
Yeah,
MMA.
strikers are coming back for sure.
Yeah, they're actually coming back on a huge level in the sense that like we have a bunch of strikers that are champions now. Leon Edwards, Pereira,
Sean O'Malley.
I mean, like maybe 6 months ago, we had a conversation about how sad it was that the striker is dying, and the whole community was about. But no, fighting is unpredictable, and we learned that hey, like sometimes in boxing, sometimes there's a bunch of brawlers that become champions, or
Right.
or boxers that become champions, and in MMA it's the same thing. It's dominated by strikers right now. Sugar Sean has a title, Alex Pereira has a title, Alexa Grasso has a title. Who else? A lot of dudes have titles that are strikers primarily.
Yeah.
So I think, and Leon Edwards, I think I said, it's bro, might be a nightmare for everybody in MMA to have these, tall, lanky, powerful dudes come in and start wreaking havoc on MMA. So yeah, Artem seems like he is definitely going to be a good opponent for anybody. He can put on the pressure on Pereira, and he's already beating him, so he kind of has that number on Pereira. But I mean, also the other thing is too, different rule set, and Pereira, like you're gonna get a loss in kickboxing. You fight like almost 300 different people. It's bound to happen. So
Yeah.
it doesn't. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Like, dude, Pereira almost got knocked out by Izzy when he fought the first time. Then he got knocked out the second time because there's way more variables. Pereira might make this easy work if Artem's able to get up to him, or Artem's going to take care. Like, it's just unpredictable. I would say,
yeah, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. Yeah, but I'd be down to see it. I would want to see Artem come up eventually.
Yeah, that's why we watch it, man.
Yeah, literally. I mean, it might be tough though too because it seems like Pereira wants to go to heavyweight. So I think that by the time Artem earns the shot, Pereira might already be like all the way at 220. Yeah. So there's bigger things ahead of Pereira than Artem. Artem might be a monster that comes in and starts cleaning out middleweight, and then Pereira has to say like, "Hey, you come to me," and we'll see what happens. It's gonna be fun because it's just competition of fighting. Like, dude, Pereira, he's close to becoming the GOAT of MMA if he fights, in the heavyweight division.
Right.
It's like it's all up in the air, and all these kickboxers are coming in and dominating. So I don't know what to say, man. It's exciting.
Basically, all right.
You got anything else, Jeremy, for Pereira and Artem?
No, I mean honestly, I'd love to see it. But you again, man, you just been stealing the words right out of my mouth today, man. Yeah, this has definitely been one of the streams where we definitely agree on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Fortunately, not a lot of conflict today. I would love to see it. I think it's interesting. Pereira has his own Pereira. I think it's really hilarious. And yeah, we'll see. But again, different skill sets, definitely going to play a factor. MMA is a totally different ball game. However, yeah, I mean, Alex's past matchups have all been striking. So yeah, we'll see, man. But I'm excited. Hopefully, if it does happen, I think that'd be hilarious. I think Dana White would love to see it. Fingers crossed. Maybe I'm not Dana White, so I don't know. But yeah, we'll see, man. But
a little prediction on Cortez and Namajunas or what?
Cortez, Namajunas.
You wanted to say the right answer there.
I almost did say Cortez. No, I got Namajunas, man.
I think I'm gonna go with the riskier pick. I think that
I'm going for Cortez though. I would much rather have Cortez win. Namajunas has been,
Yeah. I think Cortez
yeah.
Cortez is up and coming. She has a decent record. She could get it done. The women's division is always up in the air. People are constantly getting upsetted. It's like unpredictable as hell. I have Cortez winning that fight. It's gonna be a good fight. Namajunas definitely the favorite, but that's all I really have to say about that.
Yeah, I just think Namajunas' skill, I think just her experience is just gonna play that factor. I don't know. I feel like Tracy Cortez, the last fight, haven't been exactly anything exciting. Yeah. And who knows if she also has a gas tank to go 5 rounds, because this is a 5-rounder.
Might not go 5 rounds.
Yeah. Nama Yunus has definitely gone. I feel like she's gone 5 rounds plenty of times
Yeah,
before, a good
yeah.
amount of times. So
She
I mean,
does
she
have more
has that,
experience.
and she also trains in Colorado too. If she still trains with at the
That's
Trevor
true.
Whitman camp. So yeah, she's got that elevation experience.
Yeah.
Elevation is definitely going to play a factor in this one. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean Cortez looked drained at the weigh-ins. I would say
Yeah,
the heavy. I think that Nama Yunus, based off those factors, would probably be a heavy favorite.
yeah, she is. She's like a -260, like -260 or something like that. Maybe a little
Yeah,
less than that, but yeah, she's definitely
Grasso was even worse. She was even
yeah,
worse of an underdog.
yeah,
And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But
yeah. Who knows? We'll come back to this next week.
yeah. All right, Jeremy.
All
It's
right.
been the
Well,
7th episode. Thank you
another
to the one
stream.
person that stayed with us the whole time. We'll be back next week. It's Combat Sports Guy and Jeremy, and we're out.